So good morning, dear community. Okay, and today's session will be in both languages, and if you don't have a translation device, please come back to that corner to get one. And this morning we will have a session of question and answer. And before we start, we invite you to sit comfortably and then enjoy your in-breath and out-breath as we listen to three sounds of bell and establish our presence in this moment, in this hall together as a community. And let the sound of bell help us to calm, to be here, and to relax. So dear Thầy, dear community, welcome to the session of question and answer or responses. And in this session, we have a chance to come up here and ask our question, a question that in our heart is related to our lives, related to this, and maybe our difficulty, our suffering, but also the question about a practice to bring joy, to cultivate happiness and peace. And so we have about an hour or so to do it. And we have two sisters here and two brothers, including myself, and we will take turn to share our practices with you. And you know that a question can benefit other people. If we ask a question that really genuine and authentic, it can touch a lot, and it can help other people that they don't have a chance to be here. Some of them are online, or some of you down here are not you're ready to come up. And so a good question can be very helpful, and it doesn't have to be long, so to save time. So you can ask the question, and if you have a theoretical question, please maybe use it some other space, and maybe go to Google and search for some of the answer. There's a lot. Artificial intelligence is now so strong, and so so yes, come up here and ask a question that resonate to, with our suffering and our happiness. And when you come up here, so you settle yourself on this chair, and then we come back to our breathing and enjoy one sound, the bell, just to come back to ourselves and then ask our question. And from time to time, we take a question from online. And if you don't feel comfortable to come up here, you can write your question on a piece of paper and give to one of the monastic, and they will give to us. And do I miss anything, sister? And before we start, let us introducing the panelists up here. So first is on my right is Sister Dong Ngim. And next to her is Sister Bat Ngim. And then on my far right is Brother Phap Kim. And myself is Brother Thai Duk. And we're happy to be here with you. And so with that, to save time, so just come up here, be courageous, and then you can sit like a few people can sit like a kind of like a line, but not too many. Maybe a few, 3, 4, 5 first. So with that, the session space open. Please come up here. Thank you.
Dear Thai, dear Sangha, I have a theoretical question that is connected to a practical one. You, when we come here, you sing and chant, happiness is here to stay, in the ultimate we dwell. And that's of course because of that famous two doctrine, or the two truths doctrine in Buddhism. So you say you dwell in the ultimate, but then you dwell also here in the historic dimension, and you need a new dwelling. If you truly dwell in the ultimate, why do you ask us for money even for your historical dwelling? So there's a seeming conflict between the ultimate and the historic. And all we do with our practice is to get to that ultimate, so that we lay people can also sing, in the ultimate we dwell. But what if our dwelling, if there's rain falling into our dwelling here on earth? So what good is all the practice?
So, dear respected Thay, dear brothers, sisters, and dear friends, first of all, I would like to thank you for all friends who come for the weekend and also came to celebrate Thanksgiving with us. And that brought a lot of joy, and we have spiritual family and blood also family together to celebrate that. So thank you for your question. It's quite a difficult question, but I will try my best with my understanding and with my practice. I will share what I understand and I have practiced with that. First of all, we are looking for happiness because he mentioned happiness. So we are looking for something, but maybe happiness already there, ultimately already there. But we don't have a chance. We don't recognize and we don't tap into that happiness. Just recently, for my example, I have sprained my ankle. So I practice to rest and also to help my ankle to be healed. But I see that through that I realize that how happiness we have just to have 2 feet, just to walk normally, and you can go serve your food. You can have your hand is still healthy. Then you can take a spoon up to your mouth. That's the ultimate. You already have that capacity. You already have that happiness. That just daily simple things when we take for granted. So the practice help us to come back to what is that you already have and really treasure it each moment. And in the Buddhist teaching, there is historical and also the ultimate. But in reality, we are on that practice. We are practicing to realize that ultimate because we have, but we don't realize that. I'm saying. So we need to live. We need to survive. We need everything. That's why. We need your support, and in that way we can build more happiness, and we have place of refuge for other people to realize that happiness. With the practice of mindfulness, we recognize what we have, and the ultimate dimension and historical dimension we are touching every day, so that we can realize the ultimate direction, and we go into that direction. But if we know and we recognize that we already have, we don't have to search for it. It's already here. And in this historical dimension that we every day we touch. So I don't know that simple. I hope that you understand what is necessary. Just whatever you are, you already enough. You already have. You are enough, and that's the ultimate. But we tend to forget, so we don't realize that we have everything. We have a mother, we have a sibling, we have a house, a roof to live, we have an eye can see, we have a hand, and we can do already everything. And if you just come back and tap into that richness, that treasure, like life is a treasure. So every time you have mindfulness, you come back to your breathing and you know that, oh, I'm still alive here, historical, and I feel happy and joy with that. And that is already the ultimate for me. So I don't, it's just a term. It's just a word or a term. But actually, if you practice, then you can see both at the same time. You don't have to look for anything else. Here, right now, you already have everything. So I hope that you can take time to come back to your body, and this body is precious. It's helped you to move, to enjoy, to do everything, but you don't treasure it. So this is also my lesson, and I'm practicing to accept. And when I accept this, I have peace in myself. So when you have peace, you have happiness. So that's a simple my practice I would like to share. Thank you.
Good morning. I love this place. I live in Seattle, and I'm a part of a wake-up sangha called Cherry Blossom. And over the past 2 months, as young people and as adults, but we're struggling with how do we, what is our role in how to, using our practice, how to combat the ongoing genocide in Palestine, but we also feel this deep pain for those in Sudan, and then we're constantly navigating topics of racism and gender and just oppression at large through the world. So we are really at this point where we meet weekly and we're sitting with each other and we have deep compassion and love for one another, but we also feel this ongoing weight of the suffering throughout the world. So if you have any advice on how to navigate how you make decisions or just the weight that you feel.
So dear Thầy, dear Sangha, thank you for your question, my friend. And I also feel that too. And aware of the suffering and the difficulty that the world is going through and each human being going through. And I realize nowadays many spots on this planet also become harder, a lot of conflict, and also in this country. And I send my peaceful energy every day through my practice, through my sitting. I practice metta. And first to myself, may I be peaceful, may I be protected and live in security. And then I extend that to may other people also have a condition to live happily, live in security. And that's the best we can do as a person right now. And there's so many people feel that already, and many, kind of participate in that cycle. And if we don't know how to practice and establish ourselves with peace and happiness, then whatever we do, we carry the energy toward that action. Like if we don't have peace, and if we still have dualistic view of discrimination, and what we do, even we go down on the street, or we go here and there and call for peace, but we're not at peace, and we just help contribute to that. So if we were to help the world to stay peaceful, at least let us be peaceful first. At least on this planet, out of 7 billion people, and if we have that mindset to cultivate peace, let us start at oneself. So there's one less person that don't have the view of discrimination, of anger, and of fear and despair. And so remind us to come back and take care of that if we have some sadness, some despair and anger. Let us return to our breathing, let us return to our steps, and know that as human beings, the seeds of fear and anger and sadness is there in everyone. If condition is available, the seed will arise. And now with the news and social media, there's a lot of information and images, and sometimes it can be overwhelming, and sometimes it's not totally true. But we know the truth is everyone needs peace. Everyone deserves to be happy, and everyone to deserve love. And this planet, I think, still big enough for us to cohabit and to live together and to help each other. But somehow, some people or some friends that might not unable to touch the seed of compassion, of inclusiveness, and of peace, that we can sit down and see the suffering and difficulty that everyone faces. Everyone have a family, have a child. Everyone have a culture and roots, and they deserve to live happily and deserve that roots and culture. And that is how we thrive as a human being or a race. And so it's just that right now, it's just many seeds have been watered. And as a practitioner, we have to be clear and to be awake about that and not consuming information or things that water seeds of anger and of discrimination and of ignorance, that we don't be another drop of water in that wave of flood of anger, of violence. Let us start with ourselves and find a community, a place. And I know there are good people. There are good people everywhere, in every culture and every race. It's a matter of come together and reminding ourselves to practice and awake to all of this energy of ideology of things that not helping each other, that create suffering to each other. And so I'm glad that you find yourself to a Sangha, a community of practice there. So continue to do that. And once you have peace and cultivate a lot of understanding, love will rise. And you together find way to voice, to give a voice. And our teacher went our country back for him. But he worked hard to make the voice heard, the voice of suffering, that there are innocent people are suffering right now. And can we do something just to stop so innocent people can live and not hurting? And so he shared through his practice and also to work with other people like Dr. Martin Luther King and other religious denomination and other people. So together, at least we raise a voice that eventually end the war somehow, and less people got killed and the suffering is relieved. So I invite you to continue to practice and find a peaceful way, a way that we can share a message, contain love and peace and understanding. And we, at least we pray that it will come soon. And both sides, Palestinian, Israeli, in Sudan, in Asia right now, in Burma, and in many places, that peace will come soon. Thank you for your question.
Good morning. What do you do with anger when it takes control of you? Namo Shakyamuni Buddhaya. Dear respected Tay, dear brothers and sisters, dear community, I'd like to ask permission to practice to answer this question. For me, in my daily life, I don't get angry much. But if there's something that displeases me, when I touch irritation, I breathe in very deep and I breathe out very slow. And I see that when I can take a few breaths like that, then that energy of anger, it will decrease and I will be more clear-minded. But if that emotion doesn't calm, then I will take another practice, which is walking meditation. And that is when I take 3 steps, I'll breathe in and take 3 steps. And continuing 3 steps as I breathe out mindfully. When I practice like that, if that anger, it came from because someone said something unpleasant, it'll help me to see maybe that person didn't have the intention to say that. Maybe they were angry themselves. Maybe they said something that was displeasing to us. Maybe there's a shortcoming that we had, that someone saw, and we have to reflect and acknowledge, yes. And deep breaths. I see that anger is just temporary, and each step helps me to see that anger, I can transform that anger by having more positive thoughts, thinking more positive thoughts. And then it'll help me to behave more gently. For example, cleaning up the things, the toys, my things, my belongings, in a gentler way, and be in touch with the thought that if I do something like that, it'll give more happiness to my mom, to my family. So breathing in deep breaths and breathing out slow breaths is the practice. So I'd just like to share that. Thank you for listening.
Beauty, let us enjoy one sound the bell, and we have a question on paper, and I will read that. So this is the question, the written question. How do we stop the bad seeds we inherit from our parents, especially when we do it subconsciously, because that's how we grow up? For example, my mom was very busy working to have money to raise me and my brothers. She got angry easily at anything. Doesn't seem right. Now I act the same, and I'm very busy too. How do I fix that?
Mẹ con là có những cái phản ứng mạnh, thì bây giờ con cũng làm y chang như vậy. Con xin. So dear Sangha, I'd like to ask permission to practice sharing my practice. I very much like the word practice. It means to do the things that we have not yet done. I remember my first days as a monastic, I practiced to sitting meditation, walking meditation, and I was aware that I'm practicing to do walking meditation, and every day I would do these activities to make it become more perfect. Here we are doing the same. We practice in a way to transform or calm the negative seeds in us so that they don't develop in us daily. Every day we practice. And in that practice we have the teaching of the 4 right efforts. That is, first, any positive seeds we practice to develop, to manifest the positive seeds. For example, through our walking meditation, sitting meditation, being aware of our body and mind. That is a way of nourishing peace in ourselves. And we practice every day for it to become better and better. And then the second part of the right efforts is those seeds that we feel are negative, like anger, irritation, worry, fear. Those are unwholesome seeds. We have also the practice of recognizing them daily, embracing them daily, so that they can, over time, decrease, lessen. So the positive seeds, we develop them so that they get stronger, and the negative seeds, we practice to transform them in the same way. In our mind, there are many different kinds of seeds. 51, they're called 51 mental formations. We can imagine our mind as a garden, and every day we come back to our garden to weed the garden. Anyone who's ever been a gardener knows that if we we're just absent for one day to take care of our garden, the weeds can grow up quite in abundance. So if every day we are a good gardener, we go and weed our garden and also plant and grow the positive seeds, then they will come up. And the conditions will be there for them to manifest as flowers, as vegetables, to beautify our garden. In each one of us, we have received from our parents and our blood ancestors many seeds that we may not know of. And we may see them manifest from time to time from the stored consciousness. And we are learning daily how to love ourselves and to see the roots of those unwholesome seeds. Here, for example, you have received the seed. Your mother gets angry very easily. Maybe your parents' life was very busy, very hectic, trying to make a living, to nurture the family, to take care of the family, and maybe those pressures caused a lot of stress in the family. And because they may not have known how to practice deep relaxation, how to practice to take care of our mental formations and emotions, over time those seeds have accumulated or strengthened, and now it manifests quite easily. So if we want to help ourselves, our friends, to have moments of peace, firstly we have to practice to go through our day with moments of peace, and practice other practices like sitting meditation to nourish our mind, our body, to have those moments of peace in our daily life develop. here is a place of practice, center of practice. And I see that there are other centers of practice, centers of like yoga centers. So in our practice, we are able to, in a daily way, help bring calm into our mind. We come to Blue Cliff Monastery to learn to do walking meditation, like our brother just shared, to become aware of each footstep. It's a very basic, one of the most basic practices, but honestly it is difficult to learn because there are so many things in our mind. To make it difficult to perfect this practice. So if we can practice to even have 1 minute of peace of mind as we walk, I think she's saying that that's already successful. And here we also learn that when we touch an emotion, we then use that to, as a bell of mindfulness, to come back to our breath. Sometimes when my anger arises, and it's so strong, sometimes coming back to my breath is not enough. My mindfulness isn't strong enough, so I have to go outside into nature to connect with nature, so that I entrust myself to nature and allow nature to help me to heal that storm of the emotion of anger. So in the past time that during these days that you've been here, you've had the opportunity to learn the basic practices in the Plum Village tradition. And now the main issue is, how do we apply them, and to what % do we actually apply them in our daily life as a daily practice? That is the work of each person. It's not the work of the brothers or the sisters. We are just here to offer you a practice that might be applicable for you to pick up and actually apply it in your daily life. And that's my sharing. Thank you, Sangha, for listening.
Dear Sangha, I have a very personal question. So for the last, before I came here, I had a strong romantic crush on somebody.
Một cái mối liên hệ tình cảm với một người.
The person's face and name can come up in my brain, so I feel the conflicts between the close relationship and how to find myself. So I guess my question could be how to deal with the conflicts to build a relationship with others, and at the same time realize yourself not to, normally we put others' needs in front of us. Am I making sense?
So, dear respected Thay, dear Sangha, it seemed like my turn. And then I feel like this morning I have a hardest question, but I will try my best also to and thank you. I'm very happy to see so many young people here this week, and also some children. And that's brought me a lot of joy and hope for the world. And this morning when I saw a little girl was sitting so still for 45 minutes, I say, I bow to you, little Buddha. And I can see the future, and so first of all, we have to take care. We learn how to take care of ourselves first. But all of us young people, we always grown up in the mindset that we have to get married, to get a successful job. So that all thinking is ingrained in our brain, and it's naturally that you, someone that you have crush or something, it's natural. It's a natural process of the brain. It's okay. Just acknowledge that you're lucky that you have someone that you love. So first, lucky that you come in here and you see that first thing that we in practice we recognize that's mindfulness, and you have that seed of mindfulness in you, that you recognize what is going on in me, and that's already a stop. So in meditation there is stop and reflection. But first of all, we need to stop this physically. Stopping, like the walking, is help us to stop, and the listening to the bell is help to stop, to come back to this body, to really be with yourself and understand yourself, so that when you have that space and calmness and peace, and you see that trust is necessary or not. We need someone to always holding us, or we searching for someone outside of us to hold a hand example. Actually, all of us need that. So we have two hands. Like I say at the beginning, we have enough. So we have two hands. Sometimes we feel lonely. We can hold our hand. We can hold our hand and then be happy with ourselves that we have another hand here. It's not just one hand. But in our mind, we think that we separate. We always separate from everything else. So we feel lonely. We feel needing of someone at the already like a child, like survival instinct in us, that we need a mother, a father, another person to take care of us. But in this practice, I have a chance to learn how to come back to my body and take care. And sometimes if we can play, I feel that before when I was that your age, I always like searching and running outside for love, for anything, and for acknowledge for everything. But slowly I practice, and I see that there is beauty in me, inside of me. I have my quality of my parents. There's many beautiful in my culture I need to learn, and many things else that I need to learn. We have all different kind of energy in our body. So whatever we tap in, we focus on, that our mind will go in that direction. So perhaps you can take your time and just reflect on that. It's okay to have that image coming up. It's okay. And just recognize and come back to your belly breathing, and come back to your breathing and calmness. And when you can play with yourself, you can be with yourself, then it's easy to be with others. And we can feel if we have mistakes, we have weaknesses in ourselves, we can accept that. So when we come in relationship with other people will have weaknesses too. It's not us, but then we have a better relationship, accepting. But before that, we just think when we in love, I don't know. When we're in love, we feel everything of that person is perfect, it's beautiful. But when we come to like daily interaction, and when we live together, there is habit energy, like our parents transmit to us, and our ancestors, like the same question that we all have. And we are our mother, we are our father. And as I'm growing up, I see so much my father in me and my mother. And sometimes I laugh before I sing or something like that. It's my mom, and the joy, the happiness, the confidence. And I'm happy that my mom is here with me this week. She's in the back. And I'm very grateful for her that she transmits to me so many good openness, kindness. She transmits to me the skill of cooking and all the beautiful quality. And there's some kind of worry. She also have a lot of worry and suffering. So I recognize that seed too. And my father, so every day when I do touching the earth, I do it for them. Like the first touching, we have 3 touching. So the first touching, I touched the Buddha and my spiritual ancestor. The second, I touched my parents, and they also practice with me every day. And the third one is for all the friends who support me on this path. So that is cultivating every day. So when we have that joy, that peace, and then we can have better relationship. But think about it. Think about monks and nuns like this. We need so many. If you happen, I don't want to pressure you, but there's many things in life we can do, and you can see. Just come and see, and if you can help people, many young people like that, it's very wonderful. So I hope that you can continue to cultivate, to love yourself, be with yourself, be kind to yourself, and love yourself. And every time you feel lonely, you can hug yourself or hold your hand. So thank you so much for being here and practicing with us.
Thank you. My question is emotionally loaded. I also want to state it correctly, so, elegantly, as opposed to bringing all the details in the garbage. So I think I can do this now. My father is dying. He's in the latent stages of dementia. And due to the dysfunction in my family, it has become impossible for me to visit him. My sister has made that happen. I don't believe I'll ever see him again. I probably will be able to see him when he dies. How could you help me with this? Thank you.
Dear respected community, Buddha has taught that in our daily life there are 5 energies. 5 remembrances. The first one is there's no way to escape old age. to escape illness are the first two. And another one is one day those who we love, we will be separated from. That is a truth. No one can live forever. The idea of immortality is not a possibility. I'm still young, but I have to practice these 5 remembrances even now, even though I'm still young and my parents are as they are. I remember in the past when I would go to the temple and to the Buddhist youth group, the teacher taught there's one day your parents, we will be separated from your parents. I was 11 at the time and it made me cry. I cried all afternoon because I could not accept that my parents would someday, I would be separated from my parents. I was still very young at that time. But fortunately, I had a sudden awakening. I thought, oh, but my parents are still right here, are still here right now. Why do I have to cry now and waste my energy in the moment when they're still with me? So in the situation in your situation, it may be similar. We are learning to accept that one day our loved one will be separated from us in some period near coming up, and we need to prepare so that that suffering or that regret that may come does not come and overwhelm us, overwhelm our loved ones. We do not wait, we have to prepare now so that when the moment comes, we will be in a more secure position, in a secure relationship with that truth. Our parents always yearn and wish for us that there's harmony in the family, amongst siblings. No parent ever wants their children to be quarreling in argument. It does not bring happiness to the family. And it is very difficult, truthfully, it's very difficult when we are not able to be with our loved ones when in their last moments. It is a suffering. But if we ask ourselves the question in a different way, in my family situation when there's quarrels, do we want to be present in that last moment to witness the leaving of the passing of our loved one, but in the energy of quarreling? Would it bring benefit? Would it bring any benefit? To me. I ask myself this question amongst my siblings: is there anything outside of us knowing how to love and care for one another? So we have to take action. We should not think that the thing that we want in that moment what is it that we can do in this very moment? The thing that we can do in this very moment is to first of all take care of our own mind and body, to reflect on the positive and beautiful qualities that each person in our family has, to acknowledge those things. Because as I had shared, each one of us, we all have positive seeds as well as negative seeds. And all of them we are practicing to recognize. All of them are a part of us. We do not neglect any of them, including the negative seeds. All of them, positive and negative, make us who we are. And our siblings in the community, in the family, are also like that. We are practicing to accept them all. That is something that parents always wish us, for us to be able to do as their children. So when our heart is able to open and to accept and to be able to love our siblings with love through our actions and our speech and our attitudes, then the issue of being present for our father in that last moment is not the main point anymore. It is not so important anymore because we are carrying with them, with us, our parents' deeper aspirations, and we're practicing it with it, and we are trying to realize it for them. And in fact, we are present for them because we are practicing to transform those things in them, in us for them. Maybe our siblings have a different view of the issues because they do not yet see things clearly, but the main thing is what we are doing, how we are practicing. We sit still, calmly, and look to see clearly what is going on in ourselves, in our siblings, in our family. So that's my sharing, and inviting any of my siblings to share further if they have any further sharings. Thank you.
It's now 10:30 already, and we have one friend here. So maybe this is the last question. So we invite our friends to come up here and ask a question. And let us enjoy one sound the bell to come back ourselves and enjoy our breath.
This was my first time, and it won't be my last time here. It has been a wonderful experience, and I was thinking of like 10 different questions going up here, so I'll just shorten it into 2. So some of us, or maybe most of us, will be going back into the real world today. And I guess 2 part of the question is, when we go back, everything's going to be different. It's going to be more fast-paced. Many of us are going back to our jobs. Many of us going back to school. So question number 1 is, how do we kind of like a take-home, advice? What would you give for us to continue to practice and to work on ourselves and to remember what we have learned the past few days? How do we take that to our daily life? And number 2 as well, going back to our regular life, there's going to be a lot of temptations, whether that's consumerism, whether that's, not the best desires, just so many temptations. And how do we continue to fight back those temptations, or maybe embrace it, or maybe, just kind of take home advice last minute? I guess that's the best question there is.
So dear community, dear friends, thank you for your question. And I was one like you at your age, and before I become a monk. And then, just to go through the stages of life to fulfill some of our need and wish for a happy life, a life that we can have peace. But life is not how you call a smooth one. So there's ups and downs, and we know that there are temptation, there will be challenges, and so sooner or later we touch that, and we want to find ways how to cope and to deal with that. And I have encountered those challenges, and so I came to monastery, and this is the first monastery that I came among all other monasteries, and I found our teachers in the Sangha, and I found a community, and I also enjoy the monastic, the monks and nuns. I see how their energy, their way of walking, sitting, and smiling. It just somehow they radiate an energy of lightness, of happy and of peace, and somehow it just inspired me. It's like I want to have those energies. And so after the retreat, I went back home. But before that, I picked up some books about teachers in the bookshop. A lot of books, huh? A lot of books. Yeah, somehow and I read, and that's not enough. I went to the websites. And I want to see those images of monks and nuns. And slowly I practice, and thanks to I make space and time. I arrange time to practice, like walking meditation. And it's not easy. I used to live in Virginia, Northern Virginia, and I work in Washington D.C. I took the metro to walk, and you know how people rush in and out the metro. And one time when I enjoy walking a lot, and I try to practice slow walking. And then people just look at me, what is this young man doing? But I enjoy it. I want to touch that step. I want to touch the present moment. And maybe in the beginning I was stiff, and I was, because I concentrate. But slowly I learned how to relax, to enjoy my steps. And I make time to do sitting in the morning. In the beginning, it's very hard to not having, like stillness or calmness, even for a few seconds. But I try to, sit 5 minutes, a few minutes each day before I go to work, and walking here and there. And then slowly, just water my seeds. I want to do it more. I want to cultivate this energy more in my daily life. And that's how finally I want to do it full time. So I went to Plum Village and try it out, and then I do it full time, and I want to become a monk and live in this environment where less distraction, less temptation. And though it's still there, I'm still a human being, it's still there, but because of the supportive condition of full-time practicing with precept, with trainings, and with the continual practices to support us to water the good seeds, take care of the bad seeds. What's important to cultivate the energy of mindfulness, to see what's going on in the moment, to aware of our feeling and emotion, so that we can take care of those seeds and to understand where it's coming from, and one day to help us to transform. And then more, the energy of happiness and peace will arise more, and also the seed of wisdom, of prajna, of understanding arise, and your energy of mindfulness strengthen, and you know what to do, what to cultivate, how to cultivate the seeds. And when you see the temptation, the calling is there, we can ask ourselves with mindfulness, is that going to be helpful? Is that if I make that decision, will it lead me to the right way, the way that offer me happiness or not? And mindfulness can help that. And that's why we here, monks and nuns, we do that, and we want to go on the path that leads to happiness, of mindfulness, concentration, and insight. And before you go home, I invite you maybe to explore the 5 mindfulness trainings. I might find a text and give it to you. And then those are the basic and concrete practice of mindfulness and guidelines of even a lay friend or anyone who try it out, maybe explore and apply those practice one at a time, which one resonate with us, and see how it helps us to cultivate mindfulness in daily life so that we make the right choice, the right path, and that can help you in your daily life when you go back. And maybe we invite you to come back more often and check out our websites, and there are center in Thailand, but maybe near where you live, and then Australia, and then Hong Kong. But if you miss America, you're welcome to come here, or you can visit France. We have a center there. So thank you for your question, and good luck. So thank you so much, dear friend, for your presence and your question of your heart. And thank you for being here and listening, and cultivate this energy to support each other in this session. And let us end with 3 sound the bell, and we can sit beautifully and enjoy our breathing, knowing that we are alive and have each other as a community. Dear friend, you can unfold your leg and give your ankle, shoulder.